Hey, it's Ted McGrath, and welcome to tonight's show. So I want to get into BMNR. I decided to put together multiple reasons, 9 or 10 reasons on why I chose BMNR. And I want to put myself in your shoes to think about if you were learning about it for the first time or the second or the third time, what would you want to know? Also, I'm going to talk about how they are gobbling up the supply of Ethereum. They have 2.7% of the supply. And then finally, I'm going to go through my philosophy on trading, on how I trade on a daily basis and a weekly basis and bring in on average 5% a week. And I'm going to go through my philosophy on that in this show tonight. So, not tax advice, not financial advice, not legal advice. Do your own research on everything. If you want a more in-depth explanation on my trading strategy, you can go get my book here. And you can also go opt in, and I'm doing a free webinar where I'm going to go through my trading strategy more in depth coming up Thursday. So you can go get it for free. You get my book, you'll get on my list, and then we'll send you emails about the webinar on trading that's coming up. Okay. So that is that, and I'll go more in depth on that training. So for tonight, let's get into some of the reasons, and the link is down below, by the way. So for tonight, let's get into some of the reasons that I believe that BMNR is a winner. I felt this way about strategy. So if you're new to the channel, I've been talking about strategy for the last year, and I got into strategy very early. And I feel the same way about BMNR that I do about strategy. Tonight's show is not about strategy. I am in a hold mode with strategy. There's no new news that I have on it, except I'm holding. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to go up and waiting for strategy to follow. So with BMNR, 2.7% approximately of the supply of Ethereum, which is huge. They're at about $13 billion of Ethereum. Why is this a stock to watch? Why did I invest heavily in this stock? Multiple reasons. They are gobbling up the supply of Ethereum at a much, much, much faster pace than strategy ever gobbled up Bitcoin. If you can imagine that. Strategy is the largest holder of Bitcoin on the planet in terms of a corporation. Strategy has something $70 plus billion, $80 billion worth of Bitcoin. Then you have Larry Fink and BlackRock, and they own over $100 billion worth of Bitcoin. And so they are absolutely crushing it. And so we look at BMNR, and we see that BMNR is gobbling up the Ethereum supply, and they're doing it at a much, much faster rate. The goal and the target was 5%. They're already at 2.7%. And they've been at this for about 4 months now. So when you look how long it took strategy to get to this point of owning 3% of the supply of Bitcoin, you're looking at BMNR that now owns approximately almost 3%, 2.7% of the supply of Ethereum. Number two, one day they will eventually stake their Ethereum. So when you look at the revenue that will come into this company, from a staking perspective, they might get a 3 to 4% when they stake it on the Ethereum network. So at $13 billion worth of Ethereum, if they stake it and get 3 to 4%, that could be a $500 million worth of income year after year. As their Ethereum grows and goes to $20 billion, that's $1 billion potentially of staking income that's coming in a year, 800 million to $1 billion. So that is significant. And anybody who's watching this stock and is looking at a company that's going to hold this much a supply of ETH, and then at the same time, eventually they may stake it and have an income and revenue stream coming in that's that large, it's hard to look at this and go, this is not going to be an incredible, incredible stock. Now, it's extraordinarily volatile. It's up and down. It'll drive you freaking crazy. 1 minute you think it's going to the moon. The next minute it's down at $40, you know? Right now it's sitting at about $53.80 or something. It closed at maybe $53.40. I've been invested in it 3 months ago. I got into it, and I'm going to share with you philosophically what I'm doing with it in a few minutes here. So it goes up, down, all over the place. The target I'm looking for is when it crosses $70. $70 is a little bit of a resistance on it. When it crosses 70, I believe it could moon up to 100. Okay. And yes, somebody's saying here in the thread that Tom bought the dip. Tom absolutely did buy the dip. He keeps buying the dip, and he keeps adding to the Ethereum bag. So they're doing extraordinary things. Now, The thing to pay attention to on this is not only is it so interesting for the reasons that I just said with BMNR, and I'm going to share with you how you can buy the dip too. Not financial advice, not tax advice, in theory, educational purposes. I'm going to show you how I buy the dip. All right. And I buy the dip through trading. So not only do I hold the stock long term, but I trade it daily and I buy the dip. So I'm picking up a lot of shares right now when it's low. And so the fact that I believe in it longer term and I'm holding it longer term, I will take some profits as it goes up, but I'm also trading it, which I'll get into in a few minutes. And so when it goes down, I'm trading it, I'm buying the dip, and I'm picking up lots of shares. All right. So as Tom's buying the dip, I don't quite have the bag that he does, but I'm still following the same strategy, and I'm picking up a lot of shares at the bottom, which, as you know, if you pick up shares at the bottom and you're buying the dip, exponentially, they grow a hell of a lot more. All right. So Wall Street. So Wall Street's the third point. If you're just joining us, I'm going over the points of why BMNR, I think, is a freaking screamer. And 2.7% of the supply almost of Ethereum. Eventually, they will stake their Ethereum. That'll be a massive revenue stream. And then finally, not finally, but the next point, Wall Street. Wall Street is just aping in on this thing, guys. If you watched Larry Fink on the news the other night, he was practically jumping out of his chair with grins of the fact that they are already on the Ethereum blockchain. BlackRock is. So you have Wall Street moving on to the blockchain. So if I'm brand new to this and I'm like, why would somebody buy BMNR? Why would somebody trust that Ethereum is going to be the wave of the future? What question would I ask is kind of how I'm posing this tonight. And the question I would ask is this: if you're Wall Street, you're a Fidelity, or you're a Schwab, or you're, some firm on Wall Street, and you're watching what's happening on the blockchain, and you're sitting there, being, let's say, XYZ financial firm. I don't want to use a name and speak for them, but let's say you're XYZ financial firm, and you're like, I could sit here and be restricted to my geographic area, be restricted by the regulations that I have, and not reach all the customers in the world that I want. Or I could go and build on the blockchain and then go across borders and have my reach be across the world versus restricted to the geography or where I'm located or where I'm allowed to actually engage in business with customers. What would you do? If you were one of these firms, what would you do? Would you be like, no, I'm happy to stay in the geography that I'm in. I'm going to stay based on the regulations that I'm in. I don't want to go across borders. I don't want to venture out and get new customers. And Larry Fink said it when he was on CNBC or one of the channels. He's like, this opens up a whole new customer base for us. So if you're a Wall Street and you're thinking to where is the money going and where can I make 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much money? If I open up my customer base on the blockchain, it's borderless. And now I have reach that I've never had before. So where are they building? They're starting to build on Ethereum. It's not like they're not building on some of the other blockchains too, but they're building on Ethereum. And there's lots of companies that have already built on Ethereum. BlackRock's on Ethereum. PayPal's on Ethereum. You have multiple institutions, JP Morgan. They're building on the blockchain. So you have large institutions that are pouring into this. So if you just look at that by just default, like these traditional finance companies have to build on the blockchain or they will be extinct. Because how are you going to compete if you're a large financial firm? How are you going to compete with another company that is running 24/7, 365 on the blockchain? You're not going to be able to. So it's not a gold rush for the blockchain. It's an Ethereum rush to the blockchain. And it could be a Solana rush too, or whatever blockchains that these companies want to build on. But ETH is the one I'm talking about here. And who is the company that owns the most Ethereum? BMNR. So if you're just looking at this, if you watched any of Tom Lee's talks on this, you should go hear him speak. He always mentions in any interview that he does, he says very much the same principles all the time. And he talks about this is kind of the 1971 moment for Wall Street. Right now, what's happening as a metaphor. In 1971, when we moved off the gold standard, there are all kinds of uses now for the dollar, right? Wall Street wanted to make the dollar dominant, so they created all kinds of products for the dollar, whether it was debit cards, credit cards, futures, currency swaps, all kinds of different stuff. So they created all this stuff. And so when we came off the gold standard, the dollar was no longer backed by gold. So they were able to create all these different products around the dollar and made the dollar dominant. So now, as Tom Lee talks about, now we're faced with this kind of 1971 moment, only it's the 2025 moment. And Wall Street's faced with another problem, yet solution sitting in front of them. If most of the world is waking up to the fact that the blockchain is a better technology, why would I not build an app, a financial app on Ethereum that allows me to open up a customer base all across the world? You'd have to be crazy not to. You'd have to be wanting to go out of business not to. This is like the moment where you have like the old model of Blockbuster. I'm going to continue to be traditional finance, and people are going to come into the store and they're going to grab the videotapes off the wall, and it'll be fine because I'm Blockbuster and I'm so big, and I'm going to ignore Netflix. Or you can get in the game and know that Netflix is going to dominate the future. And traditional finance is waking up because this is the Netflix moment. This is the Netflix moment. It's digital. Money's digital. And if traditional finance doesn't wake up, they're going to lose billions and trillions of dollars. So just for that fact, this is where they have to go. It's not a choice. It's a mandate. That's it. They have to go there. There's no other choice for them to be competitive. So you have companies that, if you look at the list that I went over in my previous video of the number of big names that are moving onto the blockchain, it's crazy, guys. All right. From Swift to JP Morgan to BlackRock to PayPal to there's so many different companies that are moving on. All right. So that is one reason just to go, like, I should just pay attention to BMNR because that's the game. All right. So Larry Fink is jumping for joy. They already have their money market fund on the blockchain. I don't know the name of it, but you can go look it up. And they're going to be winning across borders now. Also, if you look at the options that are out on BMNR, the 90% or more of the options out on BMNR right now are call options, which is basically they're betting that the stock's going to go up. So 9 out of 10 that have options out on it are betting that the stock's going to go up. All right. So that's what is happening with BMNR. And then the other aspect of this is just to look at the stablecoin market. So if you look at the idea of why does Wall Street want to go on to the blockchain, they want to sell their stuff. Let's just make it simple. And how do they sell their stuff? They wrap it up in a token, right? They take a stock, Apple stock, they wrap it up in a token, they put it on Ethereum, people buy it. Simple. And if you look at like that stock, if I'm going to tokenize Apple, I'm going to wrap it in a token, put it on the blockchain. To put it on the blockchain, I got to build some type of financial app, application on top of Ethereum. So I build it on there, wrap it up in a token, sell the stock. And that means they can sell Apple, they can sell Tesla, they can sell whatever. And it's really simple. I mean, they have the token and then they have to hold Apple stock themselves. So if I'm Fidelity and I'm now building on the blockchain, I wrap Apple up in a token and then I have to hold Apple stock in my brokerage house to back each token with a share of Apple stock. Make sense? And that's the game. And that's what they're going to do 24/7, 365. No question about it. As sure as I'm standing here, that's the future. Okay. So it's exciting and it's cool. And this is where it's going. And what's going to happen with the volatility, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball on that. But as sure as I'm standing here, this company is going big, 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 big places. Not financial advice, but I am betting on it. And not just with my wallet, but from the standpoint of just the conviction of like, this is a brilliant, 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 brilliant move. Brilliant. I mean, Tom Lee, Wall Street, he's speaking in their ear all day long, and Wall Street's building on the blockchain. And many of them are probably building on the blockchain because of him, because he's a trusted voice and he's already got the ear of Wall Street. So to me, it's game over. It's on. Okay. Now, that does not mean that this stock won't go up, down, sideways, around your head, twirl you, throw you out the window, pick you up, put you in the ceiling fan, and toss you. It will. So this is not for the faint-hearted. I'm not saying invest in it. I'm saying pay attention, understand it, because I believe that knowledge creates confidence. And when I have knowledge, I take more confident actions on things. All right? So that's that. And then the stablecoin market, obviously, 60% of the stablecoin market is on Ethereum. Same thing as you're tokenizing a stock, they're tokenizing the dollar. right? It's a digital dollar. It's tokenized. Every stable coin, which is a digital dollar, is backed by a US dollar or a treasury bill. It's not complex. Let's not make it any more complex than that. Okay. And it sits on Ethereum. And so when people want to buy stuff, sell stuff, they can move in and out of stable coins. Stable coins settle faster. So why would I use stable coins rather than relying on traditional finance? Because traditional finance takes days to settle. Try selling something in your brokerage account, unless you have an account that you trade in, like I do, which I can buy, sell 50 times a day. You know, most of where you're selling stuff, it takes 2 days to settle anyway. So it's like, would you rather 2 days on settlement, or would you rather instant? This is the biggest no-brainer, like ever, period, ever, period, ever, period, ever. This is. I'm not saying BMNR. I'm just saying the idea of the blockchain and what's happening with Ethereum and what's going on. And most of the world doesn't even understand it. But like, all these questions are simple. Like, would you rather your money when you place a trade to settle in an instant or 2 days? If you ask anybody on the face of the planet, they say an instant. Great. That's what digital dollar stablecoins do on the blockchain. Would you rather be able to send your money in an instant, like speed of light, or would you rather wait for it to wire it, and it's going to take a day to get there, and maybe it'll take 2 business days, and if it's international, it might take 5 business days? I mean, we deal with this all the time. We've got 60,000 customers across the world in my other company where we help businesses grow, and we teach them business growth strategies. And the amount of times where my sales team is getting money that takes 2 days or 3 days or 5 days. We're just having a conversation tonight. It's like they got to sell it, and then by the time we get it, and it takes a week to get here. It's like, what world are we living in? That's snail mail, man. Traditional finance is snail mail. That's what it is. That's the comparable magnitude. It is snail mail. All right? We are in the internet world. Nobody wants to send snail mail anymore. People want to send email. So you want to have email with your money? Well, this is email with your money. So this is why, to me, this is like the future. It's here. It's the blockchain. It, to me, is a sure thing, and it's game over. Game over, dude. Like, this is the future. I was touting this. I remember I was sitting around at my church with my friends in 2020. I was on the balcony with them, and I'm like, listen, like, I bought in Bitcoin in 2018 when it's 2,000 to 3,000. I'm telling you right now, it's 7,000 right now. I'm buying more. I was on the phone with my brother. We're buying like freaking animals. And my friends are going, Bitcoin what? Bitcoin who? Bitcoin. I'm like, just trust me. I'm not giving you financial advice. If I were in your situation, this is what I would do. Sitting around with my billionaire friend on New Year's, I'm like, bro, I know you love real estate. Let's go. You know, and he bought some. Sitting around my 82-year-old stepfather, like, you know, hey, I know you like your financial advisors. I know you like what you're doing. Just, if I'm in your situation, this is what I'm doing. You know, went back a year later. Hey, if I'm in your situation again, this is what I'm doing. My 82-year-old stepdad, he's my 82-year-old stepdad, like 7x his Bitcoin portfolio. Like, come on, man. Right? From when he first bought it. What's real? Is that $15,000? Yeah, it's like a 7x at this point. So he bought some at 15. He bought more at 30. Right? Like, and once he understood it, he can see it and get it. So the world's waking up, but they're not woken up to this, just so you know. And how many people know that Wall Street's actually building on the blockchain? Very few. Very few people. One day people are going to wake up and they're going to go, block who? Block what? Block what's going on? So this is the game, man. And BMNR is the game right now, dude. It's the game. I'm telling you, this is the game. And hey, it could go down to 40 tomorrow. I don't have a crystal ball on it because it's volatile as heck. But when it goes down, and here's the point I told you I was going to tell you, I'm trading it. So when it dropped, when it was in the 40s, I was picking it up. I was lapping it up, man. And I bought in, full disclosure, I bought in what is $60. And I bought in a lot at $60. And then what I did with my trading is, as it kept dropping, because there was this great range in, I think it was August, where it was just like, it was dropping and dropping. It was beautiful because I would sell and buy back and sell and buy back and sell and buy back and sell and buy back. I think I told you a couple of videos ago, my cost basis, I probably traded it down to 48. I think at this point, and my cost basis must be down to 40, 47, 46 at this point, $46. Okay, so philosophically, here's, if you want to learn about my trading strategy and you want me to go more in depth in this, like step by step sequentially, go down below, get my money game book. When you download the book, you'll get on my list. I'm doing a training on Thursday night. We'll send you emails about it, and then you can show up and I'll show you what I'm doing physically on the screen. Okay. I'm passionate about it. I love it. It's so much fun. I'm making 5% a week at a minimum on trading. On the stock I'm trading right now, BMNR, this is my 14th week trading BMNR. I've been profitable 13 out of 14 weeks. So I'm a 90-something% win on trading this stock. All right. To me, it's like shooting fish in a barrel on trading this. You got to know what you're doing, but once you know what you're doing, it's simple. And for me, when I'm trading something, here's just my basic philosophy on it. I'll tell you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, but my philosophy is this. If I'm going to hold something longer term, I love trading it because I'm holding it. And then as I'm trading it, selling and buying, I'm lowering my cost basis tremendously. So with BMNR, because this is something that I'm holding until it hits the price points that I want. And for me, those price points are over $100. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm not taking profits unless it goes over $100. So I'm going to hold on to it and I'm going to trade it and I'm going to add to my bag. And so when I trade BMNR, and this is what I'll show you on my free masterclass, down below is the link. Click on it, get the book. So I wrote a whole book called Money Game, explains BMNR, MSTR, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the Fed, inflation. Like, it's a really good book. But you'll get the book for free, and then you can come to the free trading class as well, which will be Thursday night. If you miss it, I'll send you the recording, so don't worry about it. Just get on the list so you get notified. Okay. So the way I trade this, here's why I like trading this, and I'll just give you the philosophy. So one, when I trade it, I have my Bitcoin chart up. I use TradingView, by the way, okay? So I have my chart for Bitcoin up, and I look at Bitcoin. And so I look at Bitcoin on like the 15-minute chart, and I'm watching Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's kind of the lead indicator. Secondly, I have Ethereum up. So when I'm trading BMNR, I'm looking at Ethereum. Now, if you watch the charts on Bitcoin and Ethereum, on BMNR and Ethereum, they move pretty step and step. So I kind of have an indicator of Bitcoin. What's the kind of general market doing? For example, as I was trading today, I made 3.5% today trading. Okay. So as I was trading today, I was watching Bitcoin, and there was a point where Bitcoin was 111,000 and it started to run up to $111,600. And I'm like, okay, Bitcoin's going up. The rest of the market, Ethereum will probably follow, and BMNR will probably follow. So I'm watching Bitcoin. Then I'm watching Ethereum. I watch Ethereum on a 3-minute chart, and I watch it on a 5-minute chart. And then I go to BMNR, and then I have a bunch of BMNR charts open. And I watch BMNR on a 3-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, and a 10-minute chart. Sounds complex, but it's not. Once you have the tabs open, you just look. If you have another monitor, you look over here and just watching the indicators of what's happening. And then like clockwork, all right, like clockwork, if it's bearish, when the market opens, the price, I always place a quick trade when the market opens, because for me, every time I do this, I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell here because it always drops just a little bit. It might only be for like a minute or so, but it'll drop a percentage point, sometimes a 1.5, and boom, I'll pick up a fast point right like that. So at the start of the market, if I feel it's kind of a bearish time, like I'm very comfortable of like just like placing, I'm going to sell right here. My indicators aren't even telling me to sell. I'm just going to sell because I feel like I'm going to pick up some fast money on it. And I do. I did it today, picked up some fast money. Okay. Then based on how I'm feeling in terms of what I've studied, my perception of what's going on in the market, I'm looking at the indicators on the charts. And then I'm like, okay, is this kind of a bullish day, a bearish day? Now, Mondays are typically good days in the market. So coming in today, I'm looking at Monday. I'm like, it's probably going to go up today. So I'm going to wait. The price is going to go up, and I'm going to watch it. It shoots up. It's not done going up. It's going to go up. It's going to come down. It's going to go up some more. This is what it does, right? And then I'm going to sell little pieces. So I'm going to sell a position here, a position here, a position here, a position here, a position here. So I'm getting like the average price like to where it's going to be a winner for me. So I must have sold like 7 times today, just tranches, like 7, one here, one here, one here. I picked a price when it was at its highest, I sold. When it was middle, I sold. When it was kind of medium, I sold. And then I averaged my price out, and then I'm like, okay, the traders are going to take some profits. Like, this thing's not going to go up all day. Traders are going to take some profits. I'm just going to wait. I'll sit here for an hour and a half. I'll run my business. I'll be on the phone with my team, got the charts up, right? And it just starts dropping an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours later. It drops. I buy back in. I keep the profits. Okay? So that's how I do it. And it's fun. And so I've been lowering my cost basis on BMNR for the last 4 months doing this. And as I said before, I'm averaging a minimum of 5% a week trading it. Okay? So that is the deal. So why am I bullish on BMNR and why am I talking about it tonight? Just a quick recap on all the points that I covered. Number one, they own about 2.7% of the Ethereum supply right now. That's the first reason. Number two, one day in the future, they will be staking. And so they have $13 billion worth of Ethereum. When they stake it, that's a $500 million a year revenue stream into that company, which is going to jack the valuation of the company. Number three, Wall Street is moving on to Ethereum. It's no secret. The big names are moving on to Ethereum, and they're building, and they're on there right now. It's not like a future thing. They are on there right now, some of these companies. So that, to me, is a huge indicator. Larry Fink is going crazy about it. They have their money market fund on Ethereum, and it's already open up to cross borders, and that's the big thing. Like cross borders, I am a financial firm. I am no longer, not me, but the large financial firms are no longer restricted to the borders that they are within or the regulations they are within. They can go and be borderless now, and they can pick up a massive freaking customer base. For the pure idea of greed of Wall Street, not that I'm in agreement with Wall Street and how they play, but the pure idea of greed and what they're going after, which is money and money and money, they are going onto the blockchain, mark my words, okay? And then the next piece is trading it. I trade BMNR, so I like it because I'm holding it. And then I could lower my cost basis by trading every single day and making money every single day. And sometimes I lose, but 93% of the time I win. Okay. That's my win rate on this. Whatever 13 out of 14 weeks is, that's my win rate. Okay. 13 out of 14 weeks have been profitable. And then, as Tom Lee always says, in recap, this is the 1971 moment, the comparison of the 1971 moment, where when we came off the gold standard and the dollar became the dollar that we know it as today, which is the fake dollar. Around the fake dollar, they created all different products around the fake dollar, and Wall Street sprung up. And as Tom Lee says, Wall Street would not be the size it is today if the dollar was still backed by gold. Period. End of story. So what does that mean? Well, the 1971 moment, fast forward, this is the 2025 moment. I call it the blockbuster to Netflix moment, where we go from traditional finance to a digital world. Netflix won that game. Traditional finance will not win the game long term if they don't get on the blockchain, if they don't get in the Netflix game of the digital world. Get out of snail mail, get into email. Okay. And that is what's happening. And the stablecoin market is on the blockchain, of course, because that's where it has to be, because they're stablecoins. But 60% of it is on the Ethereum blockchain, which means every digital dollar must be backed by a US dollar or a US Treasury bill. Do you think the banks are supportive of the blockchain now? This is the most glaring, obvious thing when you look at these facts of where the money's going. And this is why I have supreme confidence in BMNR. Now, again, in final thoughts on this, it does not mean that the stock won't drop like crazy and be volatile. It will. And so my strategy on it is I bought into it. I also trade it. So when it does drop, I win because I pick up shares at a low price. And then I'm waiting for the moment, whether it happens this year, which I believe we will have a run this year in 2025. And so this year, if we have a great run, and eventually I'll sell off and take some profits, but it feels to me like a stock that I want to hold for the long term as well. So I will hold on to some of it as of right now. That's my plan. So that's it. So I hope this serves you guys. I wanted to put it in simple terms and just make it just a kind of simple idea of what's happening, because from a logical common sense standpoint, this is the hottest stock in the crypto marketplace right now. Just is. And nobody has accumulated crypto this fast. Nobody. I mean, Strategy was the GOAT, man. Still is the GOAT of Bitcoin, but nobody has accumulated and built their treasury up this damn fast. This is unbelievable. 2.7% of the supply of Ethereum in 4 months or less than 4 months. So anything else you hear out there, the stock can move and be volatile, but those are the facts. And so if we're rooted in knowledge of what the future is and has to hold, and we're rooted in what BMNR is, which basically I just shared the basics of it, that should give one confidence that this is going to be a stock of the future. And again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not saying go buy it. Certainly, if you're listening to this channel for the first time, like, one needs to get educated on Bitcoin. One needs to understand Ethereum. One should understand MSTR. One should understand BMNR, because these are the plays of the future, and it's here now. And so we will see what happens. You know, gold's been on a huge run, but there was a great video. I think it was, I don't know who was doing the compound annual growth rate of gold over the last several years, but if you compared it to Bitcoin over that time period, like, Bitcoin outpaced gold in the long run. So gold's having its moment. It's crushing it. I have no interest in it. Zero. It's not. We're in a world of technology. I mean, look how fast the GDP of the United States of America is growing because of AI. I mean, AI is having a huge role in the economy of the United States, huge role. And the amount of data centers and infrastructure that's being built up in the United States, it's massive as it relates to AI. So I just don't, like, if I were, you know, maybe in my 80s or something, and I was looking at the marketplace of gold, and I was like an old schooler on this, I would be like, yeah, gold sounds good at my age. But when I'm looking into the future and looking to where the digital world that we're in with technology, like, how could one not be interested in the blockchain? That's always my question for somebody who's more like leaning towards gold versus blockchain. And great, if one has both gold and Bitcoin, great. Gold and Ethereum, great. But I can't fathom a future where gold is the future. I just can't even. It doesn't even communicate to me for the future 20 years out that gold would be the asset. You know, what does communicate to me, and what I know will be the asset, will be Bitcoin. Okay, so that's the story there, morning glory or evening glories. So that's it. I wanted to just come and just talk real and make it simple. If you missed the video, go back and watch it. I think it's just a good one on simple points. And also, if you want to get in on my free masterclass money game that I'm doing on Thursday, I will then show you the charts that I use. I put together 2 different technologies. I'll give credit to the technologies that I use on the call. I'll show you what they are. They're not my invention or creation. I just use them. I figured out a strategy with BMNR, something I believe in, and in trading that, it's just, to me, it's a win-win strategy. If it goes down, I pick up a bunch of shares trading. If it goes up, I win. All right. So I hope this helps you guys. Also, my book is down below, Money Game. That's the link. When you click on it, you will see the book. And so that's how you get on my list to get access to the trading masterclass, where I'm going to teach you and show you how I'm trading BMNR. I'm also going to teach you how I'm picking winners on investments, and we'll go through that. Okay. So anybody who wants a little bit more technical aspect of it, if you like things sequentially and you want to see visuals on it, certainly the data I gave you tonight, you can't go trade on. So if you want to come to the masterclass, I'm happy to help you on it. This has been a passion of mine since I've been 21 years old in financial services, just so you know. I wrote the book. I created my own trading software that's coming out in 2 months. So once that's out, I'll let you guys know you can start using it. My trading software a 5th grader will be able to use it. That's how simple it's going to be. I've been on a mission to make money simple. I think it's way too complex. Even, you know, some of the stuff I use today, I think is complex. And I was like, we need a simpler system for people to learn about money. So I created a software that's gamified it. And so, like, you can play the game of trading. You can have fun with it. You can win points. You can battle other people in trades. You can simulate trades. You can get data from our AI about long-term investments and get educated on that. So I created a really cool software. The people that are developing it are brilliant. They just sold their company for big bucks, and they're my partners in it. And so when it comes out, I'll let you all know, and then you can access it and try it out. But I'm super, super excited about it because it's been a journey since I've been 21, and I was in the financial services business, and it just never made sense to me, traditional finance. Even though I drank the Kool-Aid, even when I was with the company I was with, my business partner and we went out to go find other financial systems that made more sense to us, because I just couldn't buy into a 10 or 12% rate of return at 21. And my logic was, and looking back and thinking this, my logic was like, people have 20% and 30% credit card debt. how are you getting 20 to 30% and we're getting a measly 10 to 12%? That was always my burning question. Why does 10% sound good to people? To me, it sounds like shit. And so I was on a mission at 21 to go find out the answers to this. And so it's been a lifelong search, even though my core business of what I built is helping entrepreneurs with marketing and sales and speaking. And I've got, many 60,000 customers around the globe. My passion has been the world of finance, because all the business owners that we help make money, like they all want to know what to do with it, and they don't know. So I started to create this platform and started to do this stuff for like customers and people that were having questions. And I was like, listen, I was inside the financial world. I saw how it all worked. I saw the management fees inside these freaking funds, man. And I was like, how does this make sense? I don't understand this. And then we were looking at inflation in all kinds of different ways that nobody like we were looking at inflation. We weren't looking at 3% inflation when I was 22 years old. We had a whole system that was like an engineering model where you looked at your savings, you looked at your you looked at your insurances, you looked at your savings, and you looked at your growth component, which was stocks, mutual funds. It wasn't a system I created. It was a conference we went to, and we got the system. And then we got to see how money moved along these models, insurances, savings, and growth model. And then we got to see the real rates of return of money. And I was sitting there in the conference with my business partner. It was amazing. He's the one who sought it out for me. And we just started to question everything about traditional finance. Like, why would anybody do this? Like, why? Like, it does not make any sense. And if you look around to the U.S. today, that's $37 trillion in debt now. $37 trillion in debt. And fundamentally, you just look at how the financial world works. It's got one major play, man. It just bundles up your loans and sells it, man. It punches loans into the system for you, gives you loans, bundles up your loans, sells it to investors, man. And it just goes on. And it's crazy. And all kinds of different loans, whether you're getting a loan at, for a car vehicle, whether you're getting a loan for your house, whether you're getting a loan for a credit card, right? Because you got to pay 20 to 30% on that. Like, they have all these different ways that they lure customers in on debt. And then once you start paying them an income stream on 7%, 20%, 30%, they pool all of your debt and they package it up and they sell it to investors, because the banks want to offload the loans. And the reason why they want to offload the loans is so that they can punch more loans into the screen. That's it. We just sold $1 billion worth of loans to investors. Now they're off our books, and now we can punch in more loans. Johnny comes in, he wants a car loan. They punch it in. Here's $60,000. They just punched money out of thin air into a screen that gives you a car loan. Like, come on, man. Like, how irrational and illogical and if there was a class that just taught how all of this worked, I think the world would fall out of bed tonight. Would fall out of bed tonight, because people would just be in shock. But instead, it's like, it's this loop. If you follow the loop, and I've studied and researched the loop, if you follow the loop, because it's like it goes from here to here and it loops back and it comes back here, and it makes it confusing. But if you can follow the loop and you decode it, you realize how irrational this system is. Which means that, civilizations will fall because of finances. The Roman Empire, part of the decline of the Roman Empire was they started fudging their gold, man. They were putting tin in their damn gold. So this is like, empires will fall. And how much longer the US will be the leader in the world, we don't know. How much longer are the civilizations will last until a whole new monetary system comes in. They don't last forever. That's for sure. They don't last forever. Civilizations don't last forever. And so, we're seeing the end of an era here. And the more we get the word out, the more people are going to wake up. So to me, it's a personal responsibility to get the word out. When I am when I am not in agreement with the way a financial system is run, or a system is run, which I am not in agreement at all with the traditional financial industry in the slightest bit. So when I'm in a place where I'm in not agreement with that, I want to go create a new agreement in the world that's based on truth. And I think that's important. And I think it's the responsibility of people who have knowledge and information to let other people know, so we can help people. because it's it breaks my heart to see people all across the world trying to retire and they can't. And because they never learned anything about money, and I want people to know stuff about money. I want people to learn about money, and I want people to be able to understand it because it's a confusing system. And so that's part of my mission. That's why I created the book. And it's just a fun thing for me. I love getting it out there. I love getting the message, and I love helping people. So I hope it serves you guys. Hope you have a great rest of the night. Let's keep it going. Let's keep spreading the hope on this stuff. We have a little drop. Bitcoin's down to 109.5. Ethereum's down to 3,939. We'll see what happens with the market open tomorrow. There's stuff happening on the horizon. The Fed's going to cut interest rates. That's highly, highly likely coming up in 2025, end of the year, December likely. There's going to be a meeting with the Fed end of the month. We'll see if they still remain dovish. It's likely they're going to remain dovish. So those are some good things coming down the pike. And let's keep the hope and faith for a nice run in the fourth quarter, which is typically a good quarter for Bitcoin and crypto. And let's hope that Bitcoin and Ethereum and BMNR and MSTR, that gold is having a nice run up, and typically Bitcoin will follow gold. There will be like a communication lag where gold will run and then Bitcoin will run after, and we'll see if that still holds true. So it's a whole new world. You've got Wall Street in the game now and institutions in the game, which makes this a totally different ballpark. It's no longer the retail game pushing it up. It is a totally different universe now. So I still think we're going to get a run in the next couple of months, and that's what I'm planning on. I don't have a crystal ball, so go do your research. Go listen to a lot of smart, great people out there and come up with your own conclusions. All right. Down below, go grab the book, register for, get on my list, and we'll send you details about my trading masterclass. Hope you guys are amazing. Have a great rest of the day. I hope you flourish and prosper the rest of this year, and that you do great for you and your families, and you have an ideal, amazing holiday with your wonderful families. Stay well.